Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I hope you can hear me well. I hope you all are joining us on auspicious occasions. And let me just shut that off. So it sounds like we have good audio. Everyone in the house, I thank you all for joining us right now. There's about 120 in the crib. And tonight, well, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the earthquake that occurred and tsunamis in Mexico, 7.6 magnitude. It's pretty spectacular. So let's just take a look as we get going. Can you imagine being in a subway station when a 7.6 mag? Now take a look at some of the fires here on the rooftops. This is not being reported by the mainstream. It's very hard to get information. There's very little information. It's coming out from this 7.6 magnitude earthquake. And that's because people in the epicenter, they don't have Starlink. They don't have upload speeds. It's pretty apparent what's going on, that the people that witnessed this are in awe, and they're in a bad way. So they're not really. Holy, these are some tourists.
Oh my God, everything's really flying around. Woo.
So I think I can just loop this. Yeah, it's on loop. All right, so we're going to talk about the earthquake. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. And let's just look at that, the shaking there. With the cars, that's crazy. Look at how they're shaking. We have so much video like this to share with you tonight. It's mind-blowing. So let's get on with the show. Welcome, everyone, to the Magnetic Reversal News Mexico 7.6 earthquake stream that we're going to be doing. And we're going to share with you all of the pertinent videos on the tsunamis and everything we can get our hands on. So if you can bear with me, it's going to take us a while to share these screens. So let's just get on with it. You saw the first video there. Let's share the next screen and see what we're looking at here. Now, if you didn't know, the powerful 7.6 earthquake that is currently happening strikes Mexico on the anniversary of other major quakes. This is pretty spectacular that it's happening in such a predictive, periodic, episodic, cyclic way. The powerful 7.6 quake strikes Mexico on the anniversary of other deadly tremblers at the same site. Now, the site we're looking at is right on the Middle American Trench, which is a subduction zone that has been receiving very similar type quakes in a cyclic pattern, maybe every decade or so, but the same area gets ravaged each time. And that's pretty unique because it's really not what we're taught in the mainstream. We're taught that all of these occurrences on Earth are your fault, and they have nothing to do with natural geologic phenomenon or climate variability or the sun at all, which is kind of insane. So that's the first point we want to bring up. So this powerful 7.6 quake that struck Mexico comes after a powerful quake struck Taiwan. And there have been multiple 7 magnitude events that have been happening in cacophony recently. And this is because we're in a huge deficit for these types of quakes. So it would make sense that they all happen at once, because one's triggering the other and so on and so forth. Now, someone said, will this trigger this San Andreas fault? No, not at all. It's so far away. It's thousands of miles away from this, and it's a different fault system. So the only thing that could be affected is locally here, and this is a subduction zone, well, that will receive these types of earthquakes every now and again. It's a periodic and episodic event. It happens as pressure builds and is released. and so on and so forth. So this is happening worldwide. But the good news is that the Ring of Fire has unleashed lots of pressure in the last few days. Now, the bad news is we're about to be in conjunction with Mars and Jupiter at their closest approaches. And this may have a lot to do with the reason why we're getting these major quakes. The Jupiter conjunction is the most important, and that happens on September 26th, which is 7 days from now. So the largest planet that comes closest to Earth is just about to be the closest it will ever be. So for the next few weeks, that Jupiter conjunction may trigger some major quakes. So we have now all the way to the 26th, which is 7 days away, and the next week after. So 2-week period, we could have major quakes. Now I'm sure all of you listening to me, 373 in the house. Thank you all. Please smash that thumbs up. And if you could become a Patreon, support the work we do. Also, I would suggest that you could just noodle down there to the money sign in the box and give a super chat or give a super sticker and support this live question and answer tonight. So first of all, I want to say, how is the audio? Please give me a thumb up. Smash that like button if the audio is great, because that's what we like to see. And we're going to get on with some of the footage. Are you ready? Buckle up, because it's about to get big. No, not really. But we're going to share you some of the only available footage from this 7.6 magnitude earthquake today in Mexico and the subsequent tsunami. So let's get on with it. But first, I totally forgot to put on the orc hat. So here we are. And this is the first time I'm actually looking at myself. So let's look at a good link to get us started. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Edgar Casey. This is cool. A little dog is running out here. So let's take a look at this video of the Ecuadorian dog.
Otra vez 19 de septiembre.
¿Cuál es tu pecho pueblo? It's the same damn footage. All right. I really need to get my game on here. We're going to go look for. All right, bear with me. I got some good stuff here. And yeah, we need to get this footage right there. That is Persu do. All right, this is not really. Thank you, Melinda Biddle, for the boom. And this is Diego Mejor. Okay, so this is going to be some of the earliest footage from the tsunami that's coming in. And this is one of the best pieces of evidence of the tsunami reaching Jalisco. Let me see if I can find a map and find specifically where this major area happened. Now, a quick summary of the tsunami so far. A peak of 1 meter at Manzanillo, and that's where we're looking at here at this video. This is Manzanillo. It's huge. This tsunami is huge by Mexican tsunami standards. And we're going to show you some of the graphs in just a minute. It's very damaging for the port there. And I bet that a tsunami survey will reveal that less than a 2 meter inundation close to the epicenter is going to be possible. So we don't have any videos near the epicenter. This is actually probably 80 miles to the south in Manzanillo. But the inundation, well, was obvious. And so hopefully we can find out where this video is and shut it down. We have some amazing videos of, there it is. Okay, so we're going to shut that one down, and we're going to move on to some other amazing shares here. Oh, do you guys want to see the puppy? If you want to see the puppy, he's in the house, and he would be happy to make himself available. So we're going to be looking for the puppy coming up here real soon. Now take a look at these videos shaking. This is Paratap Singh on Twitter, and it's crazy. Just look at the swaying of the buildings is beyond reproach. I mean, that is a lot of back and forth, for goodness sakes. Could you imagine being on that balcony and feeling safe? I cannot. That's a lot of jiggities. A lot of jiggities. All right, we're going to share some more because Al Gore's a bore and a whore. I just coughed off air. Okay, this is a cool one. So watch the green building. There's people that are very upset about this. Watch the window break out. I hope no one was below that. Ah, that would literally decapitate you. So the fact that only one death occurred from this event is mind-blowing, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? And we're just going to loop this through, and I'll get to some of your comments now. Klaus Schwab says the puppy should also eat the bugs. Mr. Gores must eat the bugs as well. All right, puppy, come here. Oh, yeah, little buddy. All right, so we'll just close up on the puppy can. This is Halo. Halo is just about 4 months old. He knows how to fetch. He's completely house trained, and he's very inquisitive, and he likes to chew on everything. This is a purebred Australian Shepherd, and it's the greatest little buddy ever. All right, Halo, we got to do work. So go eat the cat poop. So Halo's down there doing his work, and we're going to get on to some more share screens. Holy mackerel, let's cut that off. All right, so we got the shaky video. We got the shaky building. There's not much footage coming out from this, so literally I can say that everything we're showing you is everything you will see on the interwebs. Diego may hold. So let's take a look real quick at the tsunami waves and the size of them. And let's explain a little bit about that to you here, if I can just negotiate it. Now, quick summary of the tsunamis so far. A peak of 1 meter at Manzanillo is a big Mexican tsunami by standards, and possibly damaging for the port there. But I bet a tsunami survey will reveal a greater than 2 meter inundation close to the epicenter, according to Professor Diego Melgar. And this is just coming out a few hours ago. Elsewhere, it's smaller, which is good news, but long duration. So these tsunamis are happening in this one case here for hours, and each wave is bigger and smaller and bigger than the next. So it can catch you off guard here. These waves are between 1 and 1.5, 2 meters at this location, and they've been ongoing for hours based on this graph. So a lot of people may be complacent and, they may think that nothing is coming again, but people are smart. And because of the internet and all of this type of independent research and independent broadcasting, that people are aware that when the water goes out, they need to wait because water's coming in. So a lot of these third world countries now know from the internet and from locals and other people sharing information that if you see water moving out of an inlet, that means water is going to come back in really soon, and you got to get out of there as quick as possible. So that's these are like learning events, and that's good news, because all this technology, what it's doing is putting in place survivability networks. So this is preparedness at the best level. And what we're seeing is that major events occur, information is shared, and almost nobody dies, which is really good news. And I just want to thank all 520 people in the live stream. This is a biggest live stream we've had in 3 years. So good news there. Now let's maybe share a little bit more salacious information. If I can actually figure out how to do this. I have so many tabs opened here. We've got hurricanes strengthening. Fiona is now at 110 mile per hour maximum winds, and it's going to increase as it heads towards Bermuda. That's not looking pretty good there for those folks. Here's a good picture of a tsunami shot. Now this one's coming from the Twitterverse, and it's being shared maybe thousands of times. But you can see here, like there's some emplacements here. This was the bridge that eventually was ripped away that we showed earlier. So the tsunami definitely affected some areas worse than others based on what we were able to gather. So, and let me see if we can find some more stuff here on the tabs open. We got Professor Diego. I don't know if we've shared this.
De septiembre.
Look at that dog run away. Look at these. Oh, yeah, that was the opening video. Look at these cars shaking. Everybody's quaking. The one problem I have about StreamYard is it's so not user-friendly. And let's just get back to this video. This thing is crazy. Is there audio here? I love it. There's no audio on this video, but it's certainly showing some major shaking. Look at how these buildings, this is just a 7.6. But just the fact that, well, the good news is that the west coast of Mexico, this area, has very high standards for earthquake in their building codes. I think they have to withstand an 8 magnitude, which is why most of these large buildings have not collapsed. Had this not been done, had there not been infrastructure in place to keep these people safe, all of these condominiums, all of these buildings would have collapsed, and we would have had tens of thousands of people dead, which is the way it was in the past. Now, if you look at, well, if you listen to the mainstream media, what they're telling you is that calamities and catastrophes are getting bigger and more people are dying. That's completely the opposite of the truth. The truth is, since the 1920s, the amount of deaths from major catastrophes has reduced exponentially, and especially with earthquakes, because of building codes have changed, even though populations have increased logarithmically, and they will continue to until the big event. What we've done is we've saved hundreds of millions of lives with our building codes. Some people think that they're egregious or they don't want to adhere to them, but these are obviously good things, folks. When you see here on the west coast of Mexico, buildings moving 3 to 5 feet left and right of each other, and we can just focus in on that. Well, and only one person is claimed dead. Hello! I think we've done a great job as far as earthquake preparedness around the world. Now let's look if we can give you some more titillating tidbits. If I can just find some good shit here. I know I had some better stuff. Where the is it? Okay, that's the house. That's the thing. That's the other thing. That's the Diego. About it. So we're back to the initial, the major. This is the initial most shared on Twitter tsunami footage from the entire event. Thank you, Kenny Crowder. I'm not even focusing on these super chats. I'm so busy. I apologize to all you people that are supporting the channel. Kenny Crowder, that's a boom. I'm going to get that in there. This is like the third video of the day, and I've been working as well. Over 8 hours on construction, doing some deck work and other things. It's just mind blowing. I was like exhaling earlier, just wondering how I have the energy to work 18 hours a day. I'm going to sleep for 8 hours. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to do the next update on Oppenheimer Ranch project because things are changing and people need to know what's going on. So that's basically how it is. And, you know, we're going to share with you what you need to know to do what you need to do. Let me see if there's anything else that's extremely interesting that I want to share with here. Let me just refresh the space weather. I know I'm just doing live research with you looking at me. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Do you find it weird? I find it slightly impending. All right. So we got the puppy in the house. We've shared with you almost all of the videos on the tsunami footage, the earthquake footage, the shaking. There's very limited connectivity to Mexico. That's why, like, people are like, why isn't there any information coming out from this West Coast, middle of nowhere, and near south of Jalisco? Well, that's because they don't have technology like where you do, where you think that the empire is ending. And, well, there's food shortages where you are. Can you imagine how much worse it is in Puerto Rico after Fiona just covered Puerto Rico and there's 1.4 million people without power and without water? How do you think they're faring? 1.4 million of them. Sometimes humans leave sight of what they have. I think each and every one of you listening right now, and I've got 530 of you in my grips, should begin a daily practice called the gratitude list. If you think that that guy is driving too slow, if you think that you got to work late or whatever, or your boss is a jackass, maybe you should look in a mirror. This is a hard revelation. The reality is, if you had a difficult life, like I had, if you were raped as a child, and then subsequently sent back and back and back again to that same environment, and then you led a decrepit life of drug and alcohol addiction, albeit one that got you a graduate degree and a full scholarship to that program, it doesn't mean you're a success. It means you're a product of the failed society that you were born in. Each and every one of you, wherever you're born, that's the religion you'll believe. Wherever you're born, that's the dogma that they teach you. Wherever you're born, those are the rapists that will defile you. This is the world we live in. I'm not new. I'm not unique. I'm not special. And I don't want your tears. I want you to stop bitching and twitching. Stop complaining and baiting and start doing something. Each and every one of you listening to me right now could be the change that you want to see, but you're too scared. You're a bunch of fucking pussies. Period. And I'll repeat that, but it might be bad for the YouTube algorithms. And you know what I'm saying. You're a bunch of pussies. Stop pretending that this fairy tale world that you believed in is going to continue, because it's been heading down the fucking cliff for about a decade. And in the mid-90s, I thought we had a chance. But you're all living on the same planet that I am. And if you do not see the chaff amongst the weeds, then you're blind. Things are changing. There is a higher power at work that is changing the world we live on. And if you're all blinders and your ears are closed, I gotta work every day. If you're a woke-tard, you can suck it. Because you're a part of the problem. All of the events we just showed you tonight, these are normal geologic events. This is not a spectacular event. This is not a new, unique experience. But the fact is that the media is feeding and brainwashing the masses that these events are because of you. This earthquake is your fault. This heat wave is your fault. The sea level is going to rise catastrophically, although it hasn't come up a single inch since 1840. This is the shit narrative that brainwashes over 50% of the people that we have to deal with. It's getting very high. And there's no way to deal with these people. They believe what they believe, and they will always believe that. But here's the problem. And this is what we've been warning about. Between now and maybe next year, next summer, it's our opinion that the grid will go down, and based on space weather, a waning magnetosphere with huge implications. Can you imagine if 8 billion people don't have electricity? Now, there's 4 billion people that won't even know the difference because they don't have electricity. They don't even have food right now. So we're just starving them off now. But the rest of us that live in the clown world, the fake world, where we're going to all drive electric vehicles and mine lithium to the end of the empire until the world is completely polluted. And we just need 13-year-old boys to mine these rocks. Well, as soon as we catch wind of that in a few years, hopefully the Democratic woke-tards will wake the fuck up and they will realize what they're doing, which is nothing positive to the planet. You know what's positive to the planet? Growing your own food, sovereignty, owning weapons, protecting your shit, and letting no one tell you what the fuck to do. That's what's positive. And you know what's going to happen in the future? That's what's going to happen in the future. You want to come for my shit? Fuck you. You want to take my food? Fuck you. I grew it. You've been teaching people to eat plant-based meat and other manufactured multinational corporation, cosmic sludge, vegan garbage bullshit for the last 5 fucking years, and it's a lie. It doesn't save the planet. It doesn't save the earth. It doesn't save a fucking human. Your food makes you sick. The plant-based food you've been creating creates cancer. It causes... I don't even want to get into it. I've said this for a decade and I'm sick of it. I don't have to go back to say the same shit I said before. You are what you eat. If you think that multinational corporations that make some kind of pink slime and feed it to you from China that's radioactive and call it ground beef is going to make plant-based burgers that are good for you, you're a fucking retard and you can fucking suck it. I hope you die of cancer and you never watch a single episode of my channel because you're such a fucking stupid puppet that you can suck it. And that's a boom. And I'm done. And I'm not a bum. I'm a scientist that has been exiled, that has been demonetized, that has been defiled, that has been called a denialist. Fuck you! I am a true scientist. I use data. I use factual information. I use peer-reviewed studies. I look at the historical documents. I don't cherry pick fucking data. Fuck you! YouTube, if you want to shut me down, that's because you got paid by a multinational corporation that wants to shove pink sludge in someone's ass to make them 400 pounds and diabetic and eat 700 fucking pharmaceuticals so they'll die at 52. Who knew? I've been saying this for fucking 10 years. And just a few people want to fucking listen. So you can kiss my ass. You can demonetize me. I will never go away. Hey.